Hi there everyone, it's great to see you back on the channel. We've made it to the big leagues. After 300 levels and 600 hours of gameplay, we finally had enough money to buy our very first Boeing 737. If you follow the quick steps below, many of you will probably reach this current endgame much sooner. Start by concentrating on your cargo company. Once you reach PC-12, you can begin to expand your fleet with small planes, allowing you to earn passive income daily. Make sure your planes are flying as freelancers every day, and remember to log off before midnight UTC. Don't forget to check the maintenance of all your planes every 12 hours, and you'll be on your way to having your first airliner in no time. Right now, there's a little issue in the game where some planes appear to be broken and need maintenance, even though their status says good and the last maintenance was just done 10 or so hours ago. Have your technician check the plane and fix any problems that come up. If you're flying just a few hours each day, your planes will not need maintenance as often. When you're enjoying passive income, be sure to check the tear percent since you earn 1% of wear for every hour of flight on every crewed plane. During my grind to 737, I've picked up the following tips. Make sure you do not skip the flight. It's a great way to earn double the money. Just put your plane on course and turn on autopilot, and it will get to its destination before you know it. In-game length of the flight is often 4 to 5 times longer than the real time. So if your flight shows 4 or 5 hours in flight details, with a bit of sim rate, you can get it done within 20 minutes. Skipping directly to landing can save you a significant amount of time. If sim rate isn't your thing, you can make $500,000 on the medium cargo mission by skipping to the landing. Preparing for takeoff, climbing to altitude, and landing will take about 7 to 10 minutes. However, skipping to the landing will not result in the greatest profit because you will forfeit half of the reward for the flight. It takes approximately 15 minutes to earn 1 million with sim rate by completing the medium cargo mission in PC-12, and 7 to 10 minutes to earn 500k by skipping to the landing. Still, if you want to skip to the landing in specific flight, make sure to set your own cruise altitude in EFR, which is located in the upper right corner of the course planner. Then simply send it to ATC and they will leave you alone without requiring IFR updates every 3 minutes. Also, setting that custom altitude in a flight planner will allow you reach your required altitude much faster. Getting to the first large airliner for your company, the Boeing 737 MAX 8, can take a few weeks to a month depending on how much time you devote to playing each day, and the grind increases exponentially as you approach purchasing the next tier airplane. The Dreamliner is 2.5 times less expensive than the Boeing 737 when compared side by side. But then again, the Dreamliner requires a special skill that is not yet enabled in the game. So they overpriced the new 737 at $99 million most likely, with anticipation that it would take us some time to reach that point, allowing them to finish the game. Of course, you can get a used 737 for about $50 million and start flying by spending another $10-20 million on repairs, but still, comparing to everything else in the game, that pricing is quite exaggerated. Some got their first 737 in just a few weeks, and they also grew their fleets to more than 100 planes at the same time. To achieve this, you would probably want to spend a good amount of your waking hours enjoying the game. If you're working from home, you can reach your goal in just a week or two by taking on medium cargo missions, growing your fleet, and enjoying some passive income along the way. Start investing in your fleet early on. That's the best way to make the grind feel more manageable and let passive income become your main source of revenue. If you're not skipping the landing, remember to check that you have enough fuel before takeoff. You can easily do this by binding Add Fuel Amount option to a button and fill her up during the pre-flight checkup. Using EFR for fuel may not always work in missions, so your best bet is to use the in-game option in controls. Speaking of planes, right now the PC-12 is the most stable and bug-free plane in the game for medium cargo missions. You'll need to fly the Grand Caravan quite a bit before you can consider getting a PC-12 though. The Grand Caravan has a few issues right now, including the one when manually shutting down the engine. So for now, I suggest using the skip option to turn off the engine. And just a friendly reminder, verify your surroundings to ensure you're not getting fused inside or on top of the building before using the skip during takeoff or parking. So, do you think all those 600 plus hours of gameplay were worth it to finally reach the point where I could get Boeing 737? Even though it may not be the most impressive opportunity in the game right now, there's definitely potential for growth and a good reason to keep earning, making the experience valuable. as well as saving money for heavy airliners and cargo transports. And just so you know, a big chunk of my 600+ hours was spent flying on autopilot, as well as exploring all the companies and various career paths. I love exploring the games I play from different angles, diving into all the functions and gameplay mechanics. Especially with Sims, I enjoy experimenting with various planes and discovering their unique details. For me, having fun takes precedence over rushing to finish the game. So, I didn't have to put in much effort to get here. I took my time and eventually got to the point where I had enough money. I work from home most of the week, so there was always one of the planes zipping across the sky on one of my side screens while I was working. I flew a few missions on the PC-12 each day to help with my fleet's maintenance costs, but most of my earnings came from passive income. Once I figured out all the tricks, I was able to grow my fleet to about 50 planes, adding a few more each day. Then, even after you get your first 737, there's still so much to look forward to in your career. I really enjoy flying in VR, so I decided to focus on the helicopters for VR. Now, as the 737 is taken care of, it's time to get ready for the exciting release of heavy airliners and those big, heavy, super heavy missions. It looks like there's plenty of work ahead for Asobo though, and I'm excited to finally kick back and enjoy the game in VR. It seems like the current state of the career mode feels a bit like Asobo gave it a try, but left quite a bit of grind for those dedicated players who are really eager to get their hands on the 737 MAX. Regardless of the challenges, I believe Career provides ample content to delve into and master all of the essentials. However, as with any online game, the developers appear to be using similar strategies to slow our progression, ensuring we don't reach the end game too soon. Because despite being a sim, this flight sim now has an end game component. Career is a game within a game with gradual progression, reward, levels, and reputation. I completely understand why many people would rather prefer a straightforward approach used in Neofly to missions and various planes over being separated into a different game that requires slow progress through grinding and leveling up. This is, after all, a flight simulator, and making the Career the way it was made isolated it from the social aspect of the flight sim. I understand why this might seem like the right approach in MMOs, but I feel it's not quite suitable for a flight simulator. Neofly offers a more thoughtful approach to this, maybe not as complex and not as involved. However, the activities are connected, allowing you to stay engaged with other players, and you can remain part of the main sim, while selecting planes that suit your preferences and missions that suit your playstyle. So right now, I'm enjoying flying my 737 MAX in Career. Even though I'm not primarily an airliner pilot and I lean more towards cargo transportation, this is a fun new experience for me. Still, because it is a sim, I'd rather prefer to have spent these hundreds of hours enjoying a Career as an aspect of the simulator, instead of grinding the missions with a controller. Nobody held my hand, of course, but seems that the way Career is built right now, that you either grind, or you find yourself in maintenance and repair hell where tires on your planes melt like butter outside the fridge and the flight surfaces on your planes will make you cry in terror when the maintenance time comes. But all in all, I'm glad that Flight Sim 24 is out. It's a very good-looking game, has a deep, lasting potential, and offers experiences for many different tastes and preferences. And like the Flight Sim 20, the bugs are there, and in time, they will iron them out. The only thing that concerns me is that devs fix bugs based on user submissions, and Career questions don't seem to be the ones on the top of the list, even though it's one of the most buggy part of the game. I think Career mode really deserves Microsoft's full attention right now. I really think this isn't just another feature. It's the driving force of this version of the sim. Free Flight is still available for anyone interested, but to be honest, Flight Sim 2020 has already done a fantastic job with that. The Career mode really makes this version of the franchise stand out, and it could attract a whole new audience while still keeping longtime players engaged for the long run. It just needs to be finished ASAP and polished as much as possible. And that is all I have for you guys. Hope you have enjoyed the video. If you want to see more engaging and fun videos, please vote, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think about the current state of the game. If you believe that the Career mode is something that stands out in Flight Sim 24, and if devs need to pay attention on how it is handled over the next few months. I'll see you in the next one.